consider a move to Sweden, here are 11 reasons why this country became the perfect fit for me, and maybe it will become the perfect match for you as well. So, first thing is work-life balance. And I think this is very important part for me because work is a lot of time I spend there, and the conditions, environment is very important. And I never worked previously in super rush culture, but still I think culture in Russia or in other post-Soviet countries very different from what it is in Sweden. And yeah, like we tend to be more in a hurry, or we like, oh, we need it yesterday or something else. And here it seems that companies more relaxed, less pressured, and almost every person who came from different countries to Sweden, they told me, yes, this is a very relaxed way of working. And probably because it includes fika or like small talks near the coffee machine or something. But yeah, literally, I'm just saying that here, I know this is not for all companies and it very depends on the field you're working in, but I'm working in tea and I can tell you that here is more pleasant work and people not kind of expecting you to work overtime or work really hard all the time. Like, yeah, you need to work efficiently, but you have no need to stay until 8 or whatever. And yeah, just like take time, take care of yourself, be a nice and efficient worker, and then just like live your life. And I also really appreciate that we have the opportunity to go somewhere during our working hours, just to mention like, okay, I have a, I don't know, I have a delivery at home, I need to go there, or I have some errands and I need to be away from computer for 1 or 2 hours, and this is perfectly fine. Like, you need to manage your workload for sure, but if there's nothing urgent happening, then yeah, it's totally fine. You no need to ask like, oh, can I go? You just notify most of the time without questioning, can I do it, please? And yeah, this is feels very safe, and also because you feel that you're the leader of your life, like you managing your life. It's not somewhere else, not your company or something. And yeah, people here just like, oh, my kid, I need to grab him from the kindergarten, and this is perfectly fine. You will work your hours later, and everyone understand it. Or like, oh, my friend is like in depression and I need to help him, so I will take some half day off and will work whatever days, I don't know. But this is totally fine, and I cannot imagine something like this happening in Russian companies, because you need to let your boss know in advance that you're going to hospital, for instance, until it's an emergency, of course. But yeah, like, oh, I have this blood sample test, whatever, and in a week, and then you get approval and you can go there, and it feels like you're at school or you're like a kid. So yeah, I think here the work-life balance and the working culture in general, more positive experience for me. And for sure, this work-life balance is also that tells us about Swedish lifestyle in general. I found that people here are more, calm, relaxed, and they're not like stressing out a lot. They're not in hurry, not in rush. And I was living next to Moscow, and I know what the rush is. Like, people just like almost running to some place from the subway or whatever. And I think here everyone's like, yeah, okay, it's fine. or waiting in the queue, and I don't know, you have 5 people in the queue and someone talking with the cashier. It seems fine. No one's really nervous, or they don't like, oh, can you be like faster? And yeah, I think this is what I really appreciate, because I try to be like, okay, take your time. And when you allow others take their time, you also allow yourself take time. Because I feel sometimes in rush, even if I'm not the situation when I need to be like super fast. And this is also about this concept of fika. Yes, I think it's very like time when you're grounded, when you calming down, when you settled, when you just grab a cup of coffee and some bun, and that's it. And like you have a nice chat with someone, and you're fully in this moment and you live consciousness. So yeah, I think this is very nice, and I really appreciate this lifestyle. And I think people stay at home or with their friends or families a lot, and this is also gives this vibe of comfort, of I don't know, like vibe of coziness in general. And I really like how people decorate their houses, especially for the season like this one, for Christmas. And it also gives me the idea that people, they're thinking about where they live in. So it's not just the place you sleep and eat, but it's a place where you actually live and you enjoy being in this room, for instance. The other thing I really like is sustainability. Sweden is great for this. Back in Russia, I used to sort the waste, and it was kind of difficult. Like even if you live in the big city, it's I don't know, like you need to call someone to grab you to the waste station, or you need to walk 30 minutes. And yeah, here is almost in every region, in every like housing, you have waste sorting, and it's like glass or paper and plastic and food waste or anything. And this is very lovely. I think I can do it more, like I can do it easier here, because I know where I can just throw this away. Because in Russia I waited like a long time to have like a lot of packages and just to throw them, because it's not a pleasant walk to go every day to just throw away the garbage you need to sort. And yeah, I think this is pretty nice part, especially like people aware of ecology and the situation in the world. And also I saw how in museums, in the children playground here in Sweden, there are some I don't know, like playgrounds with imitation of waste sorting, like the game you need to adjust where to put your garbage in. And I think this is lovely, like you put the seed and it grows into the big beautiful plant. So it's kind of our mindfulness about what's going on outside and how we can impact the nature, how we can impact the society itself. If we're talking about sustainability, the other thing I love is second hands, and we have a lot of second hands here. This is very lovely. I really appreciate people going there a lot, and I know people who like has almost everything in their house from second hands or marketplaces. So a bunch of things were used and loved before, and then they found a new house, a new owner. And I also own a lot of like plates from second hand, a lot of stuff and clothing, and this is lovely because second hand here is not like, oh, you're poor and you don't have money for new clothing, but more like, oh yeah, like I care about nature, I care about ecology, and also this is a nice, like, you go and you find something unique as well. The other reason I love Sweden and Gothenburg particularly, and I live here for 3 years already, and I think the public transportation here is wonderful. I know there's some flaws sometimes, like buses or trains stop going because of snow or something happened on the railway. Yeah, it happens. But in general, I think the tram system here in Gothenburg, it's awesome. It's very, I don't know, like easy to use, and you have this period tickets and everything. And I know period tickets and tickets in general not cheap at all, but and yeah, especially when you go on just only 1 or 2 stops for 5 or 10 minutes, yes, it's kind of expensive. But if you go in for 30 minutes somewhere, because zone A here in Gothenburg super big, and like, yeah, this is feels like it's worth it. And I think this system is very nice because I know in countries like in America it's very difficult to find a proper public transportation, and I really appreciate that here it's very easy, like to have, you have no need to have a car. This is perfect, I really like it. And also I fond of bike lanes. I bought bicycle and I cycling to the way for my office. It's about 30 minutes almost every day when the weather was better than now, because I'm filming this on December. And yeah, I love it. And I really like the idea that usually bike lanes, they're not connected to the road with cars because it's quite dangerous, I think. But you have your own way. It's usually with pedestrians, or like pedestrians kinda, they also have their own way. But yeah, it feels safe, and I think bike lanes here covered very nicely, but probably not in the city center, because in the city center the traffic is not that big. We have no cars almost there, kinda a lot, but not in between these small houses. You can sometimes see 1 or 2 cars, but it's fine, and usually it's a lot of people just there. And yeah, so sometimes you will have no bike lane, but still most of the time it's there, and it's very comfortable, it's very nice build, and just convenient. And I really like here that you can take the tram, train or bus and just be in the nature. And like in Sweden, beautiful nature, a lot of forests, a lot of lakes. And here in Gothenburg we have sea, and it's so nice just to have a nice walk in the seashore, or just go and swim in the lake, or have a hike in forests. And it's really take like less than 30 minutes to go for nature, and you can even have the nature next to you, because in a lot of regions here you have forests just nearby. And for me it was very surprising when I saw hares and rabbits outside, or even deers. On my first apartment here when we lived, I saw like 3 deers and a bunch of rabbits and hares. So it's incredible coming from Russia, where you have no animals except birds and stray dogs. Rabbits, nice. And yeah, I still in shock when I saw them, like, oh, look there, it's so cool. And yeah, I think it's pretty lovely. And also I have this feeling that I need to see trees. I love trees, and I love that even in the city center we have this like small parks, or we have botanical garden or something like this, and it's very cozy, and it also helps me to like mental state, the greenish stuff helping, and I really like being next to river or any kind of water. Probably because in Sweden it's very nice situation with forests and trees and just nature. So here also good quality air and good quality water. Yeah, I told about it before, like I was in Riga, and in Riga there are a lot of cars, and you can just smell how polluted the air is, and you can feel it, because I wanted to cough a lot there. And when I came to Sweden again, I was like, oh, this is so nice. Like I can smell the forest even coming out from the plane. It's incredible. And yeah, like I think this is such essential for people, and not every country has it. Also including like nice and clean water. The tap water here is drinkable, and I was living in St. Petersburg in Russia for 5 or 6 years, and I ordered water because I think water from St. Petersburg, even if you boil it, it has some aftertaste that I didn't like, and water here is nice. I really like it. Just like I'm coming from my travels, and the first thing I do here is like just take my water bottle and fill it with nice water and sip. Great. The other reason why I really appreciate living here in Sweden is because of diversity. I think that Sweden rich blend of cultures and traditions, and here a lot of people coming from the different countries, different cultures, and me included. Like I'm also expat, and I don't feel excluded here from the society by the mean how I look like. And yeah, because I look like kind of Asian, I had some issues in my childhood when I was in Russia in kindergarten. Like people point me and like, oh, you're not Islamic, you look Asian, and so on. And it was like in this teasing manner, kind of bullying one. Yeah, so here it feels more safe for me, it feels okay. And I really like how in Sweden there are a lot of traditions and like food related culture. For instance, you can find whatever you want basically, and people from different countries, they're like pretty nice, and they can share their story, and most of them living here like in the second and the third generation of expats. So yeah, I think this is pretty nice, because I want to have my future kids be raised in their like tolerant atmosphere, tolerant vibe, and society should kind of not exclude them because they don't look alike. Then after second or third summer here in Sweden, I fall in love in midsummer. I think midsummer is a lovely celebration, and it's really like unite people. And because summer here is very wonderful time, and I don't really want to go out from Sweden for summertime, and people gathering together, they have fun, they drinking, they dancing, and even people who not knowing each other, because for midsummer celebration, like you just included in this society who's celebrating. And yeah, you're going somewhere like 1 hour from the city center to some castle or just villa, yeah, and have fun there. It's amazing, and I really appreciate it. Like yeah, I think midsummer is an event that you're waiting for during summer and during spring even. And yeah, I really love to see people laughing, having fun, dancing, and they all dressed so nicely. They have these flowers and everything. And I think I even have the video about it, so it should be somewhere here as well. But yeah, just if you're going to Sweden, try to celebrate midsummer. Try to find the company for yourself. But if you're talking about celebration here, I also want to mention about cake days. It's such a huge thing here. We have a celebration date for almost every cake, I suppose, like kladdkaka, the chocolate cake day, or semla day, or I don't know, kanelbullsdag, and people consume a lot of buns, and this is just so nice and so funny, and also very bright celebration. Like, it's not celebrating, it's not the red day, but in the offices, in the companies, people buying buns, they having fika together, and it's just a reminder to appreciate your day, appreciate some small thing, be mindful about what you're doing. And yeah, just like these little buns, they're cute, and having conversation about it, and having, I don't know, your friends coming because you want to celebrate this day, it's pretty awesome. And I think I really like Sweden because it gives so much joy for such simple things. And you're like, I would never think there is a day for chocolate cake, but it is. But for sure, if you're talking about more serious stuff, I would say that Sweden is a nice fit for me because it cares about equality and about gender diversity as well, gender equality. And I love here that it's not something like we have in Russia or post-Soviet countries, when people, or it's not men, like it's not for men, cooking is not for men, or house horse, yeah, chores, whatever, house chores, not for men, it's for women only. And women should do like kids and work, and then this work for householding and everything. No, it feels here that's more equality, and I think it still seems that some salaries in some fields here, they're not the same for men and women, but it's more or less the same for a bunch of areas, I suppose. And also kinda, yeah, it's okay with people who are shaking hands with both men and women, because I almost never shake the hand before when I was in Russia. And also talking about gender equality, and if we're thinking about families, for instance, I see a lot of fathers here going out with kids. I also know that the paternity leave here is for mother and father as well, and this is so good. I think that helps to raise a generation that will be thinking that, oh, okay, parenthood is very nice for both, and both parents should be included in this process, because it's difficult for both, literally. Yeah. And also Sweden really feels like it's a country for kids and families, because it's a free healthcare, it's free education here, and everyone is so welcoming about kids. And I saw a lot of Swedish families having like 2 or 3 children, and yeah, I think it's pretty nice, and it gives like this welcoming, family-friendly vibe. And also not only children welcomed here, but also dogs. In a lot of countries, I know you're not supposed to go to cafes with your dog, but here wow, it's, I don't know why, it's very expensive to have a dog here. Like the health insurance for dog, expensive. Just treatment in the hospital for dog, very expensive, extremely expensive, I would say. But a lot of people having dogs here, and in almost every cafe you can go with your dog. And I think this is nice because you have your socialization and you have your dog, and yeah, just nice that people not excluding some types of the society, kids, dogs, cats probably, I'm not sure. Yeah, but like it's welcoming for everyone almost. And yeah, if you're thinking about moving to Sweden, I have my video about the etiquette and manners here. See you, puss puss.